Hi. You know what? I think we have to say destroy some misconceptions about Paraguay and about this land. Look, the other day I was reading an article about the safest countries in the world, and guess what? People believe in the world that Cyprus is the safest country of the world. I don't know what is the criteria they use for choosing Cyprus as first. And then, according to that classification, Denmark is in the second position, and I think Iceland is in the third. Iceland in the third. Look, the country full of volcanoes? I don't think so. And then in the fifth position comes Japan. And I was, with all respect for all Japanese, with all respect, it's an amazing country, but safe. What is to be safe? Look, I think Paraguay is number one. And I know how to support that. And I know I can demonstrate for you this. Because I think it's time for us to destroy, it's time for us to take certain issues and to take certain ideas. I think there's many misconceptions about this country. And so in order to do that, my humble opinion, I think we should start by defining what is to be safe. And I know we have troubles here. I know we have certain other issues like, for example, dengue and stuff. But they are all troubles respect to the way we are, not this respect to Paraguay. I think we should distinguish between Paraguay and other things. So in order to do that, we should start saying, for example, there is an old misconception about this country and its size, its its fate, the way we behave, and so many other things. And I think we should start by mentioning, for example, one misconception. The first of all, in my opinion, is that all expression, is that all phrase that the famous Paraguayan writer wrote once, which is the misfortune fell in love with Paraguay. I don't think that's right. I think that's totally wrong. Rather, he should have said, Paraguay, God fell in love with you. I think that's okay. And I want you to watch this. Just watch this carefully. This is a presentation about, if you Google, for example, natural catastrophes, and then you download all the pictures that comes in that search, and then you Google natural disasters, and then you download all the pictures that you can get by doing that. You know what? I accounted for. I downloaded 1,000 pictures, and I made a presentation about that by adding a music, and this is what I found. Look.
Paraguay is one of the safest countries in this planet. Why? Look, I should say that this is the combination of three factors: location, location, and location. Okay. You know what? Paraguay is in the midst of the South American plate, which is a large tectonic plate, a mass of land on which the continent sit, and therefore the possibility for a major earthquake is zero. And moreover, in Paraguay, there are no only absence of earthquakes, because we don't have any, for example, snow avalanches. We don't have landslides. We don't have desertification processes. We don't have prolonged droughts. We don't have hurricanes. We don't have, of course, we don't have hurricanes. We don't have cyclones. We don't have typhoons. We don't have tornadoes. We don't have, we don't have tsunamis. We don't have volcanic eruptions. We don't have devastating forest fires. We don't have blizzards. We don't have sandstorms. We don't have killer fog. We have fog, but not those killer fogs. We don't have subsidence of soil. We don't have wild, dangerous animals. We don't have locust infestations. We don't have, we don't have major floodings. I know we had some floods in the past, like the one in, for example, 1982, which was for us was very big. But you know what? Floods or floodings in history are those recorded in China, for example, in 1931, in which 4 million people died. This is exactly what is recorded in history books, like the worst catastrophe of all time.
Paraguay has an adequate rainfall season in most parts of its territory. Take into account that there are regions of Chile, for example, that it rains very, very little. There is one place in Chile, for example, that the last time it rained was 15 years ago. And in the same continent, just another country, Colombia, we have one region of Colombia where it rains 360 days a year. This is so much. And also Paraguay has an adequate rainfall season. We don't have that dry season and then the rainy season like many other countries in the world. In Southern Asia you have the monsoons, which is a season where it rains so much after a dry season, which is again a problem because erosion takes place more in those situations. When it rains 20 meters, 20 meters, imagine 20 meters of rain, 20 meters of water accumulated, and then doesn't rain for 6 months, and then it rains again in that way. That's a big problem for them. It takes away nutrients of the soil. Okay, so in Paraguay we don't have that, not at all. And then also in Paraguay we have the winds we have in Paraguay. They are not strong winds. They barely reach 70 kilometers per hour when it's very, very fast. It's not like those 500 kilometers per hour that we have in certain areas of the world, like for example in Oklahoma state, where there are thousands of tornadoes every year. We don't have that in Paraguay. In Spain, for example, a country that is rather dry, sometimes the rain makes big troubles. Like, for example, in 1996, there was a flash flooding after a heavy rain, where it rains 500 millimeters in 1 hour. That made a flash flooding that killed 100 people, just like this.
those kind of things in this country, the country of the big rivers, with plenty of water, never happens, and will never happen, because we don't have the conditions for it. And you know, when rain is not evenly distributed, it's a problem. It's not only about the amount of rain, but it's also about how it rains, you know. And of course, we are not pleased with our plight, but we are so sorry with those things all over the world. But we have to recognize that it's not a misfortune to live in Paraguay. It's just the contrary. It's a privilege living here. It's a privilege that God gave us. Only being 7 million among the 6.5 billion people of the world, we are so blessed. We're not lucky, we're blessed. Many Paraguayans believe that Paraguay is a small country, and also they kind of believe that Paraguay is a forgotten country. But let me tell you one thing, two things. Paraguay is not a small country. For example, Paraguay is bigger than Japan. Did you know that? Paraguay is bigger than Germany. Did you know that? Paraguay is bigger than the United Kingdom, which is a composition of 4 countries inside. Paraguay is bigger than Switzerland. Actually, it's 10 times bigger than Switzerland. Paraguay is bigger than Belgium. It's 15 times bigger than Belgium. So if you make a classification of countries, like in terms of based on their territory, the size of the territory, Paraguay has to be ranked in the 56th position. So this is among the biggest, not among the smallest countries. Besides, we are so only 7 million, which is unique. There is no other country like us, except maybe from Canada, which is, they are so few also, and they have a big territory. But guess what? Most of it is frozen.